And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Grade A Fantasy. As your boy Grade A Fantasy, prepares you all for the running back slate, or the running back position, on the Fan Duel main slate week 6 preview. Thank you for tuning in once again. Right before I got onto this show, I won't be putting any news on this, so I'll just mention it now. Joe Flacco just got traded to the Bengals. Bengals definitely need the QB help. Guess what? If you ask me, this is a totally new team. He just got notified. So as I'm telling you this right now, he's packing his stuff and then has to get on the flight. Obviously, Cleveland to Cincinnati, not that long of a flight, but more than likely to get his stuff together. He won't be getting there till this evening, which means he won't be in the practice facility or practice field till tomorrow afternoon, which means he's not playing because he's going to be slowly learning this playbook. I honestly don't think he plays this week or the following week to at least grasp, even though he's a vet, to at least grasp some of the playbook schemes or whatever the case may be. But they at least need the temporary quarterback depth because Burrow's still not slated until after Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. But regardless, you still got 2 months, at least a minimum of 2 more months left of Browning, and now with a mixture of Flacco. So that pretty much leaves Dylan Gabriel, and now, obviously, it was a lot of quarterbacks to have on your roster, but now it looks even more until Dylan Gabriel messes up, Shedeur Sanders might have a chance. But enough of that news. Let's get right into the top plays for me at running back. Let's get right into it. Big news. Jonathan Taylor, 10-2. He's basically the CMC of a couple of years ago with the volume. Another great matchup against Arizona. So it's just a case of, once again, the theme of this week is every position, unless some injuries open up, there is not much value on both sides, FanDuel and DK. So you're going to have to do some things to try and confidently get up to Jonathan Taylor. Christian McCaffrey, his volume is still great. He's still averaging above 20 fantasy points per game. The only thing is the touchdown equity is not there like how it is. If it was the case, guess what? Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor would basically either both be 99 and 98. One of them would be 10,000 while the other one's 98, 99. If McCaffrey busts out this week against Tampa Bay in the passing game, which is what he's been doing since teams have been somewhat stacking the line, Mac Jones and Purdy have been scheming the pass to him. It's his passing game that still has him the number 2 running back next to Taylor. It's just that Taylor's touchdown equity has just been off the charts. As we go down, my favorite pay-ups back to back, I will definitely have a generous amount of both Josh Jacobs, and regardless of who comes back off the injury report for Baltimore, well, for one, not all of them are going to come back. 2, Baltimore's still a bad defense. Kyren Williams and Josh Jacobs are definitely 2 running backs, high up in price, but looking at what they've done this season, their volume, and you look at their opponent compared to what you basically pay almost a full 1,000 and maybe 1,500 to 1,600 for with both these guys here, 87, 84. Josh Jacobs and Kyren Williams can easily outscore the combination of McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor this week. That's why they're my favorite pay-ups. As we keep going, speaking of volume, a bit of a tougher running matchup, but definitely a better, without a doubt, because of his volume, he's kind of like a slightly lower volume of McCaffrey. Devon Achane is always in play. As we get down to that 8K range, I think so far with the way it looks, running behind a bad offensive line, if he has a good matchup, Genty performs. So I see Genty definitely busting out some long runs against Tennessee this week. So I think it's a Genty week. I didn't really chase Genty last week after he had that amazing game against Chicago. It was somewhat of a decent matchup, but still. He also gets nice value from Geno Smith. Like I said, defensively, it's a better matchup. I love Ashton Genty this week. As we keep down, and there you go. There's the first piece. There you have it. Because I did mention this in the quarterback preview, that he was literally the only person that left on somebody significant on the injury report. So there you go. We have We have the value that's going to open up. Omar Hampton, like I said, anybody seen walking in a boot, it's never a good thing. So now let's go and check to see what this looks like. We'll have to wait for the news. But if we go to LA Chargers here, I think it's Vidal, if I'm not mistaken, and Hassan Haskins. So you're going to be looking for one of these two. And, 56,054, not as cheap as, how Michael Carter was, or the DeMarcado play, or even, obviously, Rico Dowdle play. But, there's the value right there. That opens up. There's the value that opens up. So it's one of these two. And it is a good matchup against a weak Miami defense. We're just going to have to wait and see what the reports are. As of right now, I think you would say Harbaugh would definitely probably mix the two in. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, and then maybe if they bring up somebody from the practice squad or whatever. And I don't know, but Omar Hampton's injury is the value that probably this slate is starving for. He'll help you fit in extra stud, maybe two. As we keep going, Javonte Williams has had a great season. He's a nice, you could say mid-price option, 7,800 against Dallas. As we keep going, Travis Etienne has been running hard and playing well. I think people probably be scared of that Seattle matchup, so he could be a nice contrarian play. Quinshon Judkins is definitely one of my favorite mid-price options. He has just been absolutely just playing great. And with Dylan Gabriel, the way the quarterback is now, he definitely fits it because it's a controlled dink and dunk offense with some good run blocking. Quinshon Judkins, all of a sudden now, I think he basically has almost 25 touches in the last two games. Definitely very talented. And with the way Cleveland's running their offense now, he's going to be heavily relied upon. Quinshon Judkins is one of my favorite mid-level plays. As we keep going down here, with the value, it's not value, but it's still cheaper than, expecting what they're going to get. We got back-to-back studs from last week, Rashad White. We got Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle's definitely still going to be a favorite, 6,600. Revenge game against Dallas. So there's some narrative along with the skill. If we keep going down, I definitely like Michael Carter. It's a tougher matchup. Indy, not the stiffest run defense, but obviously with the DeMarcado fumble, you definitely might see, I don't know about a benching. He hasn't been cut yet, but might be taught a lesson. Bam Knight got some carries, so that might do something. It kind of sucked when I saw Bam Knight get that second touchdown when they got to the goal line. I was hoping that would also get to Michael Carter, but it is what it is. Michael Carter still did fine for his price, just didn't boom like Rico Dowdle did, even though Michael Carter was the bare minimum at 4,000. I think he still ended up with a 15.6, if I'm not mistaken, or a 13.6. 15.8. So, yeah, Michael Carter was still a solid play. He got passing down work and everything, so still got 18 rush attempts, but with no Bam Knight and obviously DeMarcado possibly seeing less work with his tragedy at the goal line last week, look for Michael Carter to definitely be on some 30 touches. I still like Michael Carter this week. As we keep going down here, as we start going down and getting to, look, I don't know what to make of this New England backfield because he's still very much a part, but until you hear Ramadre, I got a feeling if he fumbles one more time, I think it could go to Travion. Now that Gibson ruptured his ACL, so now it's just these two in the backfield. But obviously, you still got to give the edge to Ramadre. Still looking good, running strong, and it's a good matchup against New Orleans. And then, like I said, there goes Zonovan Knight, Bam Knight, if you will. He might be looking up there, and there goes Kamani Vidal. Other than that, I really don't see anything. No, there's really nothing here. You're throwing dart throws, and I don't even think any of these are sensible dart throws. The way Rashad White took over the backfield, Sean Tucker is a no. There's really nothing here. Like, these are guys that you'll be looking to play next week, that if the guy in front of them gets injured, whatever you see here, like Brian Robinson might jump to like the sixes, like the low sixes from 48 or something like that. But other than that, there's really nothing here this low. The Chargers news is just something you have to monitor. That's literally the basic value besides paying down on defense and obviously paying down at tight end. So whoever might get the nod, expect them. Like I said in the QB episode, if one of these guys get named like the main down back or whatever the case is, or we might have to like dig into these guys' past and skill set to see who would be the third down back, who would run, because Harbaugh's not the guy who's gonna every coach is gonna like, maybe avoid if you're down big. But Harbaugh's a very hard-nosed old school coach. Sort of running back, a cheap running back here in the 5,000s will play a big aspect into this. So as we review this, even though these are great options up here for this slate, pay ups, Josh Jacobs and Kyren Williams, those are my 1 and 2s. As much as JT has been great because of the matchups and because of that price, Jacobs and Kyren are my favorite pay ups. And they're 1A, 1B. Right there at 2 for me is Genty at 8,000. As we get to the middle, I like Javonte right next to Genty, but if we keep going down here, it's without a doubt Quinshawn Judkins. Favorite mid price is Quinshawn, Rico, and yes, you're gonna have to go with Rashad. And then of course pay downs, Michael Carter, still Ramadre, and whoever gets the nod, either Haskins or Vidal. Yeah, that's pretty much it for there. Michael Carter pay down. That's pretty much how I'll rank it out right there. So the running back vid is over with. Wide receiver video might come later tonight. I'm thinking more like tomorrow. And then I'm possibly looking at on a Thursday, getting to you on the same day, tight ends and defense. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy. Have a wonderful day. Good luck. This is a tricky slate, but once again, another one fun to figure out. Thanks for tuning in. This is Grade A Fantasy, signing off.